Today we're going to answer a viewer's question all about the Canon C100 Mark II and the Sony A7 III. Obviously two completely different cameras, but this viewer wants to use these cameras for shooting his kids' choir performances in a high school auditorium. So just to set the stage a little bit, he's going to be shooting about 100 feet away, in a dark area, and then he's shooting the stage, obviously, which is lit up. Right now, he currently shoots it with an iPhone. I think it's the iPhone 8s. So that's what he's using right now, and he shoots that with Filmic Pro. So he's wondering if he should get a C100 Mark II or get a Sony A7 III. And he also went on to say that he was more interested in the camcorder over the mirrorless camera because it will probably be a little easier to use. So basically, we're going to take a look at both of these cameras, the C100 Mark II and the A7 III, and we're going to talk about whether they would be good for shooting a live event such as this, where you're shooting a stage performance. Then after we talk about those cameras, I'm going to try to kind of pick a winner for you and also offer a few alternative cameras that you may want to think about. Let's just kind of start with the Canon C100. Just like you saw in my video, yes, I really enjoy it, and it really does a good job in shooting really, really great looking HD footage. It's absolutely amazing. Now, you mentioned that you're in a predicament where you're in the dark, you're kind of standing in the dark with the camera, you're 100 feet away, and then you're shooting the stage. The C100 will have no problem in that situation because you're not shooting the audience in the dark, you're shooting the stage, which is in the light. So it's not really a low light situation. And even if it was, the C100 is really, really good in low light. So no problems there at all. Now, just kind of going into the pricing of it, which I'm sure you already did your research, but to people watching who might not know, you can get a C100 right now, I believe, for about $2,700 new. And the C100 Mark II, by the way, which is the better version, for about $2,700. And then if you got the combo with this lens on it, the 24-105, it will cost about $3,400. This is a really good lens. It's really sharp. And I'm assuming that one of the major reasons you want to go with a camcorder, a mirrorless camera, just a different camera from your iPhone, is so that you have the capability to start zooming in. Because right now, when I was looking at your videos, they look good, by the way, being that you're shooting on the iPhone and you had it on a tripod, it was nice and steady, but all you have is a wide shot. You probably want to zoom in and see your kids' faces and all that stuff, which is totally understandable. So something like this, a 24-105 lens will do that for you. But I'm also going to give you another suggestion as well. You can also get something like this 18-135 lens. And this particular lens right here is a lot cheaper than the 24-105. You can get it used for about $150, brand new at $600. So it's very, very inexpensive. And it gives you a little bit more zoom. So instead of going to 105, you can get to 135. So you're getting about 30 more millimeters of zoom, and it zooms out to 18, so it goes a little wider. 24-105 is a nicer lens in terms of image quality, so it's a little sharper, but this is still really good too. The battery in here probably lasts, the stock battery that is, probably lasts for about 3 hours, which is really incredible. So you get about 3 hours of battery life, and this camera also comes with an AC adapter, so it doesn't even matter. You can plug it right into the wall, and if you're in an auditorium, you probably will have access to power, so you can plug it in. And also, if you're shooting something like a stage performance, you could actually plug a cable from here into a sound mixer and take the audio that's coming through the microphones in the room and put it right into the camera and get good, clean audio. So that's something else you could do with the camera like this. Now, with all that being said, I also understand, though, that you're shooting your children's plays and whatnot, plays, choir performances. And I have to wonder I don't know if you're planning to do anything else with this camera, if you're planning to do anything professionally with it, if you were planning to sell these performances to other parents, to the school, You know, if so, then yeah, I probably would go with something like a C100 for sure, because you can do more with it. But if that's not the case, then there might be some better alternatives, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, let's just talk about the A7 III. So the A7 III is really another amazing camera. But now you're looking at a mirrorless camera, and this one will give you the added feature of being able to take really good pictures. So that's something that you can't do with the C100, but you could do it in A7 III. But you seem to just be more interested in taking video. So would you really need an A7 III? And I guess you pretty much already kind of answered that question for yourself. It seems like you're leaning more toward not getting a mirrorless camera. So I kind of feel like you do. I wouldn't really get an A7 III either. If my main focus was video, I wouldn't really be interested in it. But just kind of getting into it, yes, it can shoot 4K, which the C100 can't do. Like I said, it can take really good pictures. And it has a lot of nice features to it. Even the battery life on it is not so bad. I think it can shoot video for about 2.5 hours. And that's pretty impressive for a mirrorless camera. The only problem I would say with the A7 III is that it has limits to the recordings. So you can only record up to 30 minutes, and then you're going to have to hit record again. And if you're shooting something like a stage performance, and I saw one of the performances on your channel was about an hour, you have to be mindful of that, because if you hit record and then you sit down and maybe you're talking to the wife and like, man, I can't believe how good they're doing. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And then you over here talking, drinking a beer or whatever, and then you forget that the thing stopped recording 20 minutes ago, and now you just missed the end of the play. That could be problematic, right? And also, we could just kind of talk about the price of the camera. The camera by itself is around $2,000 new. And if you get a lens for it, which you would probably need something like that 24-105, that's going to cost you another $1,400. So it's not the cheapest thing. So you're going to be at $3,400, basically the same you would be for a C100. It's going to cost you around the same amount of money. So there's that. So there's the high cost really with the both of them if you were buying them new. But if it were me, I would buy both of them used. That's just how I roll. I buy things used, but save like $1,000. Why not? The C100, yes, would be the best option out of those two cameras. But is it the best option for you in general? You seem to be leaning more toward a camcorder anyway, which I think is a good idea for things like this. So something like this. This right here is the WXF 991. I bought this used for about $450. Brand new is about $900, but this is the 991. I would suggest the 981. The only difference is the 981 doesn't come with this camera on the LCD screen. You can see there. What that does is it puts you turn that on, and then you can, when you're shooting your kids, it will put your face in the bottom of the screen. One of the best things about these camcorders, these consumer camcorders, is that you don't have to worry about lenses. They're built in. Not only are they built in, but this is a 25 times zoom. So if you wanted to zoom into your child's zit on her or his nose, you could do that. And you can make fun of them later for the rest of their lives, because you could do that with something like this. It has a crazy zoom. So that's one nice feature about these two. You open it up and it's ready to shoot just like that. Very, very quickly. Hit record. You don't really have to worry about it too much because these things are built to really be used in auto mode. And that seems like what you were getting at, that you want something that's easier than a mirrorless camera. And that's where I feel like a C100, this is not meant for that. This is not an easy camera to use. This is a professional camera. That's why it has so many buttons and dials on it and everything like that. There's a learning curve to this, just like there is for the A7 III. And I'm not saying that you can't learn it, because you can, but it seems like you were more interested in something that's easy. This is easy. Open it, hit record. It's already in auto mode. I mean, there is a manual mode in here, but just throw it in auto, intelligent auto, and it pretty much will get you good footage right out the box. You don't really have to do much to it for it to work well. The battery life, the battery that comes with it is only about an hour and a half long. So you're going to want to upgrade the battery. It's only about 20 bucks, 25 bucks. And I'll put links down below to all this stuff, so you can check it out in the description. There'll be some affiliate links down there, but the aftermarket battery for about $25 on Amazon will get you about 3.5 hours of record time. And just like the C100, it doesn't matter really, because you could plug this into the wall. It comes with an AC adapter. So if you're close to an AC adapter, you don't even have to worry about the battery life. Just plug it in and it will just keep recording for as long as you want until your card fills up. But there is 4K in here. There's really good image stabilization. And you find that a lot in these type of camcorders. And I also use this camera to shoot my last video. Well, not my last one, but my second to last video, which was all about shavers and stuff, which really has nothing to do with my channel, but I just had to make the video. But I use this to shoot the stand-up here in my little home studio. And you can see that it doesn't really look very bad. It looks actually pretty good. I'm pretty sure no one knew that I shot it with this camcorder, but that's what did it. And it looked really, really good. So you get good image quality out of this. It can also take stills. You could take pictures with it, but it's not going to be as nice as what you could take off an A7 III, but you could take stills with this too. And just one last alternative I'm going to give you is the Sony A7III. So the Sony A7III is very similar to this. I think instead of a 25 times zoom, I think it's 20, but that's still far. The Sony A7III is a little bit more money than the 981 because it costs $900. But it also has better image stabilization, which for you is not going to matter because you're on a tripod. But I just want to mention it to other people that are thinking about either one of these cameras. It has better image stabilization because the lens inside like floats around, almost like it's on a gimbal. So it gives you really, really good image stabilization. So something to think about. And there you have it. So there are some options. There's my thoughts on the C100 Mark II and the A7 III and which one is best for shooting a live stage event. And there are a couple options you can think of. If you just want a basic camcorder that's real easy to use, you just open it up and hit record. You got the Sony, you got the Panasonic. If you found that helpful, go ahead and like the video. It'd be much appreciated. And like I said before, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this. Links to everything I mentioned are down below. As always, I'm Mike Turner. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you soon.